Welcome to the ThunderCast, your martial athletics podcast produced by the fans, for the fans, with your hosts, Russ Livingood and KD Hugnall. We're bringing you the thundering word on the thundering herd each and every week, so keep it right here. The ThunderCast is on the loose.
Thank you for downloading another episode of the ThunderCast here for the midweek news and results and upcoming schedule show that we do every single week with Jed Horton. Jed, how you doing tonight?
Hey, not too bad, Russ. We're over halfway through the week, looking to wind the week down. Happy that spring's here. We're going to be talking a little bit about some spring sports that we've got going on. But man, doing pretty well. Happy to be here.
Yeah, and let's have everybody that's watching or listening right now, no matter what platform you're on, hit the like or subscribe button. We picked up some more last week, and we're going to ask you to do that again this week. Make sure that you hit like and subscribe so you never miss it. I still see people saying, hey, I can't find the latest episode, or I saw that on social media, but I can't find the post now. Well, it's real easy. Yes, we do post them on social media, but if you like or subscribe, you get a notification every time. It doesn't cost you anything. It's still free. We have free content. It's just basically like setting a reminder that it's going to pop up and say, hey, you like to listen to this episode or you like to watch this episode, they've got a new one. So do that for us real quick. Make sure that you like and follow us on all of our social media platforms. We're really hitting Facebook hard. KD is. He's putting ThunderCast throwbacks on there, has some things about collectibles and things like that. Getting a lot of interaction with people. So make sure you hit us up over there if you haven't. And with that, I'm going to get some words from our sponsors at Leasure Oliver PLLC. If you've been hurt in a wreck, call the law firm of Leasure Oliver PLLC. Find them at 304carwreck.com. Jed, we had a week, and there's been a lot of rain and things, and some of the sports have ended for the spring already, had the conference championships. So you may be saying there's no possible way that ignite.link has brought us 5 things, but we've got that and more. So let's head over to ignite.link and our 5 plus whatever, and I'm going to surprise you things that we need to know this week. And now, here are at least 5 things every herd fan needs to know this week. As always, brought to you by ignite.link, the Tri-State's premier IT management team. All right, these first 3 are kind of grouped together, and it's about making the conference teams for the postseason. Tamaya Lewis-Utsi has been named All Sunbelt Conference first team. She also made the All Defensive team for the conference and was named Newcomer of the Year. What a year for the 1 year that she came in here. Huge impact on the herd. Jed, what do you think?
Yeah, we saw in year 2 of Julie Falk's team that we needed to add some pieces. The team was on a little bit of an upswing towards the end of the season. We needed to add some pieces, and man, has she just done excellent and well deserved of the awards. We're going to talk a little bit more around the herd about how the women's basketball program's doing as we get started with the Sunbelt tournament. But man, what an asset to the team, well deserved, and well. What else can I say? Well deserved, and congrats. That's awesome.
Yeah, let's go over these stats here for this first year that she's here. In 31 games, all starts, 29.4 minutes per game out of 40, 19.4 points, 3.9 rebounds, 3.9 assists, 3.6 steals. That's one of the reasons that she's on this all defensive team. And 0.8 blocks. And I tell you, something that you can't quantify. I mean, you could if you watched every game and wrote it down. But if you need someone to go to the basket in the Sun Belt Conference, I dare you to find a better, more consistent player Lewis Utsi about taking it to the rock and or taking it to the rim and scoring points, and gets to the line a lot when she does that. So either she converts, or she gets to the line, or she converts and gets to the line.
Well, that's what's really rare about a player like her is, I mean, she's doing both. I mean, obviously from the all defensive team, newcomer and first team, is she's putting up a lot of points, but she's also getting you stops, she's getting you steals, blocks, and that's I'm not gonna say rare, but that's kind of rare for a player to be able to be a very strong offensive weapon and a very strong defensive weapon. So very, very cool to watch her play, and excited to see what kind of run we can do here this week.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that, like you said, and around the herd. Let's see what she and her cohorts on the women's basketball team can do. They've got a 5th seed, and we're going to talk about that here in a little bit. On the men's side, number 2, Wyatt Fricks was named to the All Sun Belt Conference first team, and Jalen Spear named to the second team.
2 guys, man, that have been just, especially this year, such a core piece, not just because they returned, but such a core piece to this team. Wyatt has been around since, this entire time. We talked about this with, and there's been some other players as well. We talked about this with Tavion Kinsey whenever he was here. A guy who, stuck it out, didn't transfer out, led green, committed to the program, and then performed at a very, very high level. And I feel the same way about Wyatt, man. What a guy who's given it his all for the herd, has stuck it out here, has probably had some opportunities to transfer out and do things like that, but he hasn't, stayed here, but also performed at a very, very high level. So, man, just what a great guy, and a huge contributor to the team. And then Jalen Spear, a guy that came back, has been so clutch, in multiple games this year, where single-handedly has brought us back into games, and just been such a leader on the team. So this list, that doesn't surprise me, with these 2 guys, and congrats to them, and well-deserved. And again, as we discussed with in the first thing, we've got an opportunity to see these guys play, hopefully a couple more times. So congrats to those guys.
Let's start with Wyatt first. I want to go over, this is his 5th year here. And the first year he was only, 2 games that he played, barely, getting some time here and there as a redshirt season and everything. So then he had the last 4, that he actually was playing. And he was in just about every single game the last 4 years. But coming into this season, he had a career 5 starts, 2 in the 23-24 season and 3 in the 24-25 season. 18.2 minutes was his high, and that was 2 years ago, in minutes per game. This year, he starts 30 out of 31, so he's a full-time starter for the first time. And you don't see this type of player very much anymore. Someone that sticks around all 4 or all 5 with a red shirt in any sport in collegiate athletics. It's just, you don't see it as much anymore. He was under and behind some all-timers here, Anna Killy Chillin, or I did what the announcers did, Anna Chilly Killen, and other players that he was behind, and now he gets to step into that starting role. He waited and got his game better, and boy did it get better this year. 28.9 minutes, a full 10.7 minutes over his career high season average. And then his 3-point percentage was 35.5, full 5% higher than his previous high, which was last year. So he's shooting better. He's scoring more. Rebounds were 5.6 this year. Points 15.6. 1.5 blocks. 1.4 assists. And man, when you needed someone to do a highlight dunk to get the crowd going, to get the momentum back, that was your guy right there. But he was clutch in threes. He was clutch, when you needed points down the stretch. I remember the last game that I got to go to. I didn't get to go to the Saturday night game, the the last home game, but the one before that I went to. And every time that the team ODU kept coming back, they would get within 5 or something like that. All of a sudden, it became the Wyatt Frick show. And I think he scored 28 in that game. And he got the crowd back in. And now, Jalen Spear, he came back, like you said, as well. But he started 23 out of 31 games last year. So it wasn't like this was his first year starting. But he turned it up a notch. And last year he had 10.8 points. This year, 15.7. They just elevated their game this year, both of them. And they meant so much to us. And we are going to miss these players next year to replace them. We have a very good young nucleus. We're going to be bringing some other people in. So now it's next people up. But these two deserve their spots and they deserve their flowers. And I'm glad that they got these awards. All right. Keeping up with it. Like I said, it was the first 3. Number 3 is Laura Check was named to the All Sunbelt Conference first team for track and field. Justin Lipscomb, Trayshawn Smith, and Markayla Moore named to the second team. Now, Jed, I've been covering this since 22, since we started this. And the best I can tell is if you get gold, you get first team. If you get silver, you get second team. And if you get bronze, you get third team. That's the best of my knowledge. That's how it works. So they did this. Laura Check earned gold, and the other 3, Lipscomb, Smith, and Moore, all got silver. So they were the ones named to the second team.
Yeah, and all those names are folks that are no stranger to the 5 things either, you know. So
That's right.
You know, we've talked about the elevation of the program, how it's been trending in that upward direction. These athletes have been, you know, obviously not the only key, but the key to this, or a key to this. They're performing at a very high level, breaking personal best, breaking school records, winning gold, silver, and doing really well. And that's, you know, it's just a testament when you see the number of athletes that get these recognitions. You know, you're pushing into that, you know, that upper echelon. You know, and that's what we're wanting to achieve here. And track and field has been pushing and improving every year. And these athletes have had a major part of that. So this is fantastic for them. Well deserved. Glad they're being recognized. And yeah, man, I'm all for it. Love it.
For number 4, softball is ranked 12th in Softball America's Mid-Major Top 25 and 19th in D1 Softball's version of the Mid-Major Top 25. That's for the team. Softball America has also ranked 2 of our players, Sydney Burko, 8th amongst third basemen in the country, and Bella Gerlach, 10th for first baseman. Those 2 are having a battle back and forth to see who can hit the most bombs out of here. Bella and Burko, the Double B Bombers. I'm trying to remember the Killer Bees. That's what it was for the early '90s teams with Bonds and Vanilla. We need to do that here. The Killer Bees. I'm going to make that a thing. I'm going to see if I can make that a thing. Somebody's probably got a much better nickname, but KD's usually the guy throwing out all these nicknames. I'm gonna throw my hat in the ring. But great to see our team. We're going to talk about what they did this weekend. Great to see these players. I kind of spoiled a little bit of what they've been doing, but getting some really good recognition right now.
Yeah, and again, like you said, we'll talk about it more around the herd, but like just the team as a whole, just doing extremely well. I think softball is starting to really crank. Very curious, really curious and excited to see once we start, you know, Sunbelt play, you know, how we stack up. But I think we've got a very solid, very good team this year. And those 2 ladies are leading the charge. So very cool to see that and getting that recognition. And it's what you love to see with your programs is getting that national recognition. So that's great. And like I said, I'm excited for Sunbelt play and see how we do against our Sunbelt competition.
Number 5, 4 student athletes attended the NCAA's Legacy Lab in Indianapolis recently. This was an entrepreneurial seminar, and they targeted sophomores and juniors, and it was invite only. So these have been selected to go there. Kylan Overstreet and OT Omat from track and field. Maria Chavez and Fernanda Dantes of women's soccer got to go. I think this is super, super cool. The NCAA doing something to help athletes. Jed, you say it all the time. You see that commercial on ESPN Plus, and it talks about how many different student athletes end up going pro in something else, and what they mean is not a sport, but in the field that they get a degree in or whatever. And this is kind of one of those things. They are helping them prepare for life after college, which I would love to see the NCAA do more of that instead of screw up all of college athletics, which they've been doing a good job of.
Yeah, they do a great job of that, don't they?
They're setting records.
Yeah, they're winning. They're winning at that one.
I mean, when you got a tight end on his 9th year of eligibility, what are we doing, right?
Like, come on, yeah, exactly. Hey, you want to go back? I think I might have some eligibility. But in all seriousness, no, seriously, like, yeah, we talk about all the time, Russ, that when you go to a school like Marshall University, you're going there to get a degree. And student athletes go there to get a degree, and not everybody's going to go pro. Very, very few go pro. That's just across the board. Doesn't matter if you go to a big time school or to a small school. I mean, most of these people are going to go out into the world and have careers and jobs. And man, I love the entrepreneurial side of things. Going out and developing. That's one of the things I really love about what Brad Smith has brought to Marshall and with the business school and things, is there's been a lot of focus on the entrepreneurial side of things. Going out and creating, doing something new and developing, and not that going out into the world and having a career working for another business or something like that is those are good things, but giving students and student athletes the opportunity to see that creative side and see that, hey, I might have an idea or a skill or something that I can use to develop a business or grow an idea unique to me, and giving them those opportunities and showing them how you can take an idea and then grow it into a business and into a larger idea. That's fantastic. And I'm all for that. I like that, man. I know you've had some you've got that entrepreneurial spirit about you. You've started and done things, and same thing for me. So I got a special place for that, and love that. So I think that's really, really awesome that these student athletes had a chance to participate in that and got that invite. Super cool.
Yeah, and I participated in one of these that Marshall and the Big Green set up a few years back, and they had invited people that were business owners or had small businesses or large businesses, or were in some kind of a field that they felt like they had something that they could give back to the student athletes in a meet and greet, very informal thing. And they just got us all together, and they said, hey, I'm the facilitator, and here's what we're going to do. In the next 15 minutes, I want you to go find one of these, you as an athlete, go find one of these business leaders over here, and I want you to know enough about their business and what they do that you can talk for a minute about it. So they just had everyone mingling and doing that, and then we all had like a little, there was finger foods and drinks and stuff like that. You'd sit around, talk afterwards, and it was just networking and, hey, what do you want to do? How did you get started with the job that you're doing? That sort of thing. And I enjoyed that, man. And I think that we should be doing a lot more of that, because I needed that when I was in college and I was not a student athlete. And I think our student athletes can benefit from that too. So yeah, I'm really, really glad to see this. Before I move on to the next one, I have to say we got to throw Ava Blake in there on the Killer Bees as well. We've got 9 homers, and 6 homers are top 3. They've all got a B in their name there somewhere: Burko, Bella, and Blake. So killer bees it is.
I think it's going to stick. I think it's going to stick.
I'm going to make it stick. Somebody else can say how corny it is of a nickname, and I use that to segue into our number 6. Corny Jackson has been named a finalist for the Ben Jobe Award. This is the second year in a row. You remember last year was his first year as a head coach, and he was a finalist for it. The award honors the top minority head coach in D1 basketball. Just to be named to this list as a finalist is great. He had a very successful first year, I felt, here. And, now getting the number 2 seed, I'm not spoiling anything, even though we're talking about that later. That was already, news out there. But great to see him get this. I really hope that he wins this either this year, next year, the next couple of years, or whatever, that he continues to be a finalist for this, because I love this.
Yeah, I do as well. And you got a guy who, went through the program here, has come back, he's coaching, he's finding success, and he's, under year, and we'll talk a little about this around her, but year 2, running the program. And, you've seen the recruits that he has been able to pull in. And then keeping athletes here too has been something he's been able to do very well. And so, he's definitely performing at a high level. And man, I'm excited that he's been added as a finalist again this year. We're really lucky to have a guy like him, and wish him the continued success that he has been doing. And he's got a short way to doing a really, really cool thing if they can win a couple of games. And man, I'm really, really pulling for the team, but pulling for him as well, because he's done. I think he's done a really good job.
Let's see, number 7. Kenyon Collins, as far as we know, I have to say this, as far as we know, and I'll expand on that in a minute, broke the Herd Baseball school record for strikeouts in a game with 14. Steve Cotton says 13 was the previous high, and get this, Matt Spade did it in 1992. Aaron Blair, who's on the coaching staff and was in the dugout when this happened, did it in 2012. And Drew Harlow did it the day before, so Drew Harlow gets 13, and that ties the record. And then the very next day, hey, sorry that you just were, tied for number 1. I'm going to take it from you. And he struck out 14. Now, the caveat to this is Steve says, to the best of his knowledge, he is going to go through, and he hopes this offseason, we're talking about every single game of every single season of Marshall baseball. He's going to go through the box score and record these in a database, so it will then make this record book a lot more, accurate, legitimate, whatever you want to say. You won't have to say to the best that we know. But as of right now, according to Steve Cotton, which I trust when it comes to statistics, your new strikeout record single game is 14, and it was by Kenyon Collins.
I was about to say, if Steve Cotton says it, I'm going with it, because who else is going to have the amount of knowledge that he has when it comes to statistics around any of the Marshall athletics? So, and Steve, we trust. I'm telling you, man, he's going, and to go through and to do all that is crazy. But man, we really appreciate that. And I know we've talked about this before. I love when he's post game stats. Going out and say, okay, this was the record here back in, and man, I love those when he does that. And man, that takes a lot of time and a lot of effort and a lot of knowledge to keep up with all of that.
I tell you, after a loss that Sunday morning, it's one of the only things that keeps me going, is knowing that Steve's going to have some cool stats for us. Love that guy. Love the stats. Love what he does. He's a treasure. That velvety voice too. He's right now, he's the voice of the herd, but he's also the unofficial official statistician for all records. Jed, I'm going to break your heart. This is our last one, number 8. Ralph Street is leaving the football program because he is going to be the assistant defensive line coach for the Cleveland Browns. We do have his replacement named already on the coaching staff, but before I name the replacement, I want to have that not be a separate thing, but I want to talk about Ralph before we talk about the replacement.
Yeah, you can't be mad at a guy who's increasing and advancing his career. We want people here that are successful and are really, really good at what they do. And Ralph's a guy who has been really successful and really, really good at what he does. And because of that, he gets the recognition of, being assistant DL coach for an NFL team. I mean, how do you say no to that? I mean, he bleeds green, but also, you're wanting to advance your career. And so, man, don't fault the guy at all. It hurts as a fan because he's such a great guy and has done a lot of good for the football program. But also, so that hurts. But kudos, that's what you want to see from your program. If people aren't trying to come and take you or take your staff and take your players, then you're not doing anything. So, congrats to him for the position. Just sucks that we're seeing a great guy leave, and but we wish him the best. Honestly, wish him the best, and hopefully, well, we don't hope he does what he is going to do well. That's just what he does. So, but it also hurts to see him go. But yeah,
Ralph played here while KD and I were in college, and I saw him around campus, and he was one of the guys that you always look forward to on Saturdays and everything. One of the things that always stands out for me is we were down 38-8 in the GMAC Bowl in 2001 when we had the epic comeback with Byron, and down 38-8, and we come out in the second half, and either the first play, second play, first 2 or 3 plays, whatever, Ralph tips the ball from the defensive line, intercepts it, takes it back for a touchdown, and the floodgates just were open from there, right? And then you see him come back here in 2021 and the 5 years that he was here, and what he does is just year in, year out, we have absolute monsters on the defensive line. It is the stud unit of stud units every single year. And you have players graduate and you're like, oh man, Owen Porter's gone, Kobe Cumberlander's gone. How are we going to do this and everything? And then, he was like, oh, hey, watch this. I've talked to players that were underneath Ralph Street. I've talked to parents whose sons played under Ralph Street, and every single one of them will tell you Ralph Street is the man, and we hate to lose him. Huge shoes to fill. But now let's talk about who's coming in to replace him. Anthony Leonard, there's not been an announcement, but it's on Herd Zone under the coaching staff. So this is not any we're not breaking any news or anything. People have found it and put it out on social media anyway. But Anthony Leonard, who was defensive line coach at Akron last year, has joined the staff. And it was just this month it became official because his bio on Herd Zone says joined in March 2026. So, he was a run game coordinator and defensive line coach, same as Ralph. And the big connection is he played and then was later a GA for Gibby. So Gibby knows him. And he knew him when he was a collegiate player. And then he knew him as a GA, and now, they've kept in touch and watched and everything. And now, he's got a D-line position. We need a D-line coach. Gibby knows him, brings him in. So huge shoes to fill with Ralph, but let's all congratulate Anthony Leonard, embrace Anthony Leonard, and say, you don't have to be Ralph Street, but let's be Ralph Street, just one little inch below Ralph Street. let's still have that monster defensive line that Marshall has been known for the last 5 years.
Yep, absolutely.
Jed, that does it for this week. 8 things every Herd fan needs to know this week, as always, brought to you by Ignite.link. And I forgot, Jed, you didn't call me out. I did not change and put your logo up there, so I'm going to do it right now and give you your logo up there. But folks,
usually I got my shirt on, but not I gotta. Not today.
While I messed up and didn't have the Ignite Link logo up there in the corner for those of you watching on YouTube, this is a great time to tell you. Jed always says, "Hey, this is not what I do." Well, Ignite Link is what he does. So if you know anyone, small business, medium-sized business, large business, nonprofit, doesn't matter, if they have a computer, which is every single business in the world, they need Ignite Link to back up their files, do all the virus protection, everything that you need from IT management. They are the premier IT management team. And when you call them up, you're going to get someone you know. This is not someone in California. They're not outsourcing anything. It's people right here. It's Herd fans right here in Huntington, West Virginia that you're going to be dealing with. Spread the word about Ignite Link and be confident that they will do a great job for you.
All right. Well, I appreciate that, Russ. We're going to talk about, let's go and take it around the herd, and that is brought to us by Layer 1 Solutions.
And now, Layer 1 Solutions, your experts in business connectivity infrastructure, takes you around the herd.
All right. Well, we've even though we've had some sports wrap up, we are smack dab in the middle of a bunch of others. So we're going to start by talking about tennis. Lost at host team Liberty 4-3 on Friday, but they had a bounce back win 5-1 over East Carolina on Saturday.
Yeah, that Liberty, I mean, that was a tough squad. Looking at the matchups and everything and the results, they ended up winning the doubles point, and then it was, out of the 6 singles matchups, it was 3-3. So they just, because they won the doubles matchup, that was the one. That was the point. So you go from a could have been a victory to a loss right there. Great bounce back day, pretty dominant day over ECU on Saturday, and we hope to see more of that moving forward than the close loss against Liberty.
Yeah, and we've talked about this, Russ. We've got a great tennis squad here that's going to be notching some wins, and so watch them to bounce back. And they have that opportunity on Friday and Saturday as they travel to New York City. They'll take on Columbia. That's on Friday, and then Wagner on Saturday. So we'll bring you those results next week. You ready for this, Russ? It's men's soccer. Men's soccer. What? It's spring, but we've talked about this before. We've got the spring league coming right up, and it starts with the exhibition match on Friday. This week we record Wednesday, Friday against Rio Grande at 7:15. So if you have the availability and can make it, I mean, hey, what's not to love? You got soccer in the fall and soccer in the spring. I love it. So you'll have that opportunity on Friday.
Yeah, stop by. As you know, it's always a great time there at the vet. But I cannot believe that it's here already, because in my head there's still snow and ice out there. I know it's not. We're getting ready to have some 70-degree weather, but hopefully just not as much rain on Friday that we have right now. But yeah, I am very much looking forward to this spring league and seeing our players gel and things that we've become used to these last few years.
Well, not to be left out of some spring play, women's soccer actually having a little spring ball of their own, and they will be hosting Glenville State, and that's Saturday at 3 p.m. So you catch the men on Friday and the women on Saturday. So some soccer action going on, and I'm here for it, Russ.
I hear you.
All right, well, we're going to swing on over to softball. They swept the weekend with wins over UConn, winning those games 5-4 and then 3-1. Gave tennis some payback by smashing Liberty 8-0, and then beating up on Radford 5-1.
KD put it out on Twitter. He said, Zirkle told y'all. And, they had a very, very rough schedule to start with. We talked about this. Florida State twice at Florida State. Florida twice at Florida. They had Georgia Tech in there. They beat, was it Iowa? Iowa that they beat, I think. But you're looking at, a rough schedule. And then here they come up against, teams that aren't number 4 in the nation, teams that aren't number 7 at the time in the nation, at their home field early in the season. And they're just dominating. They went in there and they dominated Liberty. They 8-0. But again, the killer bees, which I'm going to say, are just launching the ball everywhere. I'm going to make that stick. I am.
Yeah, it's already here.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's just got a great chance to win some more games, stack some more victories this weekend, and you're going to tell us about that now.
Yeah. All right. Well, Russ, it is here. Opening day at the dot is here. Friday at 3 p.m. versus Akron, who will be playing a game immediately before that game. And then the Herd has another game against Canisius?
Canisius or Canisius? Canisius, I don't know. I've never known how to say that, but somebody out there knows. But I used to see them all the time in baseball and things like that.
I don't know why I've never heard of them, but that'll be at 5:30 on Friday. And then they'll finish the weekend series with games against Howard on Saturday. Wait. Did I just miss something here? Or am I misreading here? Oh, that's right. Yeah. They'll finish the weekend series with games against Howard on Saturday at 3 and then Sunday at 12:30. Sorry, I got mixed up. I thought the game against Canisius was Saturday for some reason in my head. So.
No, so they're doing 2 games on Friday, 1 on Saturday, 1 on Sunday.
Yep.
So get out to the dot. I know that that grassy area beyond center field and right field is going to be packed, as it always is. I know the grandstand is going to be packed. Let's make it a little more packed for opening day. And you've got baseball, which we're getting ready to talk about, will be home as well. So you watch at the dot, go over and watch some at the Jack, go back and forth. It's going to be a really good weekend. Just hope that we get some good weather for that.
Yeah, if we can do that, it's going to be a weekend packed full of stuff to do. So hopefully the weather plays out. So speaking of baseball, got a win on opening day at the Jack, beating Butler 4-3. Unfortunately lost the Saturday game against Butler 7-2 before winning the rubber match on Sunday 3-1, taking the series. On Tuesday, went to Blacksburg and just beat the ever-living tar out of Virginia Tech, and beating them 13-4. Anything you want to add on that?
Well, we had the 13 strikeout game. We had the 14 strikeout game back to back. You're seeing Batone, who transferred in and is, we had talked about basically a clone of the player we already had in a halter. And then you've got Coop Henson is a young guy hitting. But the pitching is coming along, the bullpen is coming along, the bats are coming along. It's looking like we're heating up, and I hope that we continue that. We were going to have another game, but you can tell us all about that too. Wild.
Yeah, so announced on Monday of this week, we were supposed to play WVU. We picked up an extra game with them. Play WVU at home tonight as we record. And then word came out today that the game was canceled. So I don't know if WVU canceled, we canceled, but I don't know. So unfortunately, that game is now not happening, because that would have been a good game there. So, but that's all right, because you have they have a weekend series hosting St. Bonaventure Friday at 6. Saturday at 4, and then Sunday at 1. And then they'll travel to Louisville Tuesday and Wednesday for a 2-game series with them. Oh. All right, we're going to bounce on over to women's basketball. Lost to a top-ranked Georgia Southern on Friday, 78-72 in overtime. And I got to watch a bit of that game and just pulled away there at the end and unfortunately dropped that game to them.
Yeah, that game was one of those, I mean, top ranked in the Sun Belt, Georgia Southern, and they had 2 losses in the conference, I think it was, going into that, 13-2 or 12-2, something like that. And here we come and we do our thing to come back and tie it up and everything. And I really, really liked our momentum going into overtime. And then all of a sudden we came out and they scored the first 6 points in overtime. And it was like 3 minutes we didn't score. And just too little too late to be able to do anything. But I like that we were going toe-to-toe with the best in the conference, because I've said any given day we are the best in the conference and we can run with anybody and no one else can hang with us. So I think that we're kind of dangerous when we do that. And yeah, it would have been better to come out with a victory. There are no moral victories, and we're not going to get a moral victory if we do that in the tournament. We're going to be eliminated. But I did like to see that this was not your average 6-point win. You're looking at any given play in regular time before we went to overtime could have been a Marshall victory right there. It was that close that we were running with the number 1 team in the Sun Belt Conference, as their record was at that time. So I really like our chances. We're up there really high amongst the cream of the crop in women's basketball in the Sun Belt. So let's see what we can do in the tournament.
Well, and that's the thing, and you're talking about this. We can run with anybody in the Sun Belt, which means we win out. I think we've got a really good chance of winning the Sun Belt. It wouldn't be because of a fluke. It's going to be because we have the players, we have the skill, and the capability to run the table here and get us that automatic bid. So, but they've got to play a couple games and perform really high. They get the number 5 seed. So they will be playing on Friday at 12:30, which we won't know who that will be until tomorrow.
Until Thursday night, when Thursday evening, something like that, we'll find out who that is. But let's just hope it's not a brawl. Like, I don't know if you saw that. Yeah. Coastal and South Alabama had a massive brawl earlier, and 7 South Alabama players were ejected from that game. It was wild, but
call it the Fun Belt.
Yeah. But yeah, go women's basketball number 5. I would have liked to have seen 4. That gives you 1 additional bye, but hey, let's just win them 1 extra game. We can do it.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Men's basketball, man, just continuing a bad night to Georgia Southern. Lost 99-82 to Georgia Southern on Friday night. A game where I think the last time we played Georgia Southern, they just couldn't miss. I mean, just shooting lights out.
Both games, yeah.
Yeah, both games, and ran away with it down the stretch. And I thought we did well to stay in it. There were some lead changes, but they just took off. So, which we can talk about that game, and then we can talk about seeding and everything.
Yeah, I can't remember the exact score, but it seems like it was 76-70. 73-72, I think, that we took the lead in that. And from there, I mean, it was just like, I think they went on an 8-0 run, and then later they went on another run. And they would go down the court and just find somebody, throw up a 3 from 26 feet, and it was nothing but net. And one guy every time he shot. Just nothing but net. And then we were playing from behind with not enough time because they're hitting all these shots. So we're trying to force, hey, let's look for a 3, and you get some bad passes. You're not playing your game because you're trying to you've got what is almost an insurmountable lead. And then that insurmountable lead just actually became insurmountable because you miss down there with a bad shot or a turnover. They go down, they hit yet another three or a breakaway for a layup off of a bad pass. And the hole just keeps getting bigger. And so, yeah, it was bad, but it wasn't like we were down 17 the whole game. It was more like one of those games where you lost by 8, but down the stretch, you're trying to chuck up anything to go for a 3, and then they're just getting a layup off of it. So it did grow quite a bit there in the last 2 minutes.
Yeah, bummer to lose that game at home, but it worked out for us. Good news is it worked out because we finished the season in a 6-way tie for second place because the Sun Belt is ridiculous this year and everybody beating up on everybody. But the tiebreakers gave us a number 2 seed for the SBC tournament, which means then we've got to bye all the way until the semifinals, which is on Sunday. So we got to win 2 games to get that automatic bid and give us a Sun Belt championship. So that game will be on Sunday at 8:30.
Yeah. Really, really fortunate with that 6-way tie. I don't know how those tiebreakers, I mean, a lot of people, a lot of teams have a lot of good arguments that they should be ranked over the teams ahead of them, but the tiebreakers are what they are. And I even saw something, JMU lost to, I think it was Coastal on a last-second shot, and had that shot not gone in, that would have switched some of the tiebreaker things, and I think we would have been the 5th seed, which would have given us 2 more games that we would have had to play. So just that close amongst these 6 teams for second. So very fortunate to be the number 2 seed. I think that I would much rather see us get that Georgia Southern bad game and someone going lights out. I'd rather that happen before the tournament starts, because that happens in the tournament, you're eliminated, right? But we're set up, we win 2 games, and that's all it's going to take, and we're going dancing.
Yeah, and we've seen it all season long. I mean, that's why the top echelon of the league is what it is because everyone's beating up on each other. So we have the skill, we have the talent, we have the capability to beat any team in this league. And all we got to do is beat 2 of them this weekend. And if we can do that, like you said, we're going dancing, get our first Sun Belt championship title, and hopefully Corny and the boys can do it. So looking forward to that, tuning in, watching that. And man, we've got a loaded weekend of Marshall athletics. So if you're bored this weekend, or even if you're not bored, go hit up a softball game, hit up a soccer game, hit up a baseball game, or hit up all 3, and then tune in Sunday evening to watch the men play. So got a full load of it.
Yeah. Jed, thanks for taking us around the herd, and Layer 1 Solutions for making that possible. And that's all I've got. If you don't have anything else, I'm going to take us out of here.
No, that's all I've got this week, Russ.
Yeah, so whether you see us at the Dot for opening day, whether you see us at the Jack, whether you see us up at the Vet, any other place that we have games going on, no matter where you see us, we're going to be saying, go herd. It's the ThunderCast, and we'll see you in a few days.